Hi all. So basically, today it is a overview session which will help you to understand what is this particular training about, what and all I'm going to cover in this particular training. Okay, so what you get it and what you can do it like completely. I'll focus on that area, and also end of the session so as it is a overview session, right? So for any questions is there for you, we will discuss at the end instead of interrupting in the middle. So we'll go in the end. So usually when you have regular classes, you can ask the questions at the same time, but now so what I'm saying is like we can go through the questions later on. Okay, so basically this training is mainly Power BI only. The training main skill of this particular training is Power BI only. So which I will be covering with. So Power BI in the sense like it is a BI tool, business intelligence tool. Okay, so where complete focus will be on this one only, and most of us or most of you are getting the jobs in Power BI only, like after this training. So this is the main skill, but if we want to work on Power BI, okay, so if we want to work on Power BI, we also need some other relevant skills, all right, to do this particular job. So what is that? Is nothing but you should have idea about what is data mainly. So business intelligence means it is like we are going to work on data side only, right? So we should know the terminologies of data, what is data, how it will be stored, what are the different kind of structures of the data is there, and what are the different ways of storage happens, right? So where I will be covering on the data warehousing concepts, from how we get the data, how we store it, how we structure it. So why do we want to structure it? So all those things I will cover it in the data warehouse. It is more of a giving a knowledge to you, like clear understanding on data side. Okay, and then I will be starting with SQL Server. Like basically, so data warehousing means we have to store the data, right? So that storage part I'll be explaining, storing the data in SQL Server and how do we retrieve the data. So basically database means where we can store the data. So we are choosing in this training SQL Server, to store the data and to continue that. So mainly, right? So I'll be covering SQL Server in this training. So where so we can do the data mainly like on this side, like querying part. Like I'm developing a report, right? So I want to check so what data I have loaded, whether the numbers are matching or not. That kind of validation we can do it with SQL Server. Okay, so end to end I'll cover the SQL Server, but the main thing is Power BI. So Power BI is something where I will be covering end to end from the beginner point of view. Somebody, right? It is not like whoever is doing this training, right? So they will not be knowing everything here. So I will give my training in such a way that completely you can get that knowledge here and you can comfortably work on Power BI. So each and every option in this particular tool I will cover it so that so it is easy that you can work on it. Yeah. So that's what the expectation or something which I will be giving in this particular training. Okay, so apart from that, nowadays, right, so Power BI has certain limitations on certain accounts. Like for example, even if you take any of the product also, right? So we'll have some product will have more features are there, some product will have less features are there, right? So if you go with premium and normal plan, standard plan and normal premium plan, premium will have more benefits also. So basically Power BI has certain limitations based on the accounts actually, like so if you want to connect or if you want to make a report with huge data, right? So we can also do data modeling tool. Like, so what I'm saying is, so we can work on data modeling tool. Okay. So data modeling tool is something where we can load the data and create data model and do that stuff. Then connect with that data with Power BI. What I'm saying is, so in this particular training, I'm going to cover this MSBI also, data modeling tool, right? So there are jobs in this data modeling tool also. There are jobs in Power BI also. There are jobs in SQL Server also. So if you go with individual skill also, you have a jobs, but all combinedly, if you want to try as a BI developer also, you can work on it. So basically, while working on Power BI, you must need SQL, because so we get the data. So what we got it to verify that, or in order to validate that report, whatever the numbers we have it, right? We have to validate that numbers are correct or wrong, right? So to do that and all, it will be covering. So basically, in our training, this data warehousing, SQL, Power BI, and this data modeling tool, all this I'm going to cover it. Okay, and the timings will be the same always. Like I don't take any other timings. Only 7:30 to 9 a.m. only every day I take it. There is no other batches or group teams also which I will be taking. Only one at a time. Okay. So this is all about like the trainings or what we are going to learn it in this particular one, right? So 1 second, just I'll stop it and reshare it. Yep. So if you can see it, like all of you here, right? So why do we need business intelligence? What is, first of all, why do we need Power BI? Why companies has to spend money on Power BI, right? So if you look at why do we want to invest in Power BI, right? So mainly any business, of course, if you take any business, in order to understand their business, what it is happening, right? So in order to analyze their business also, right? So we want to make something knowledge out of it also. We want to perform data analysis, right? In order to do the data analysis, right? So let's say if you take like banking system, how many transactions happen today in particular bank or particular location? How can we get to know, right? So we will not be knowing like how many are there or how many failed transactions are there, right? So those failed transactions, there will be ETA. So we want to return that money back if there is a failed transaction happened. Yeah. So these things mainly we have to do it like on this particular business intelligence side. Like, so mainly business intelligence, how does it help, right? So what is business intelligence? You could see. So business intelligence is a process that help us to change the data into information. So we already have a data, right? So that data, it should be informative, or that information should give knowledge to us, right? If you could look at business intelligence is a process that help us to change data into information, and information into knowledge, and knowledge into plans that guide the organization. For example, so we have the our business is running, something is happening, right? So we want to plan our business to grow, or we want to make a understanding why our business is not growing. Anything, of course, in order to make understanding, right? So this business intelligence will help. Okay, BI tools. So we have a question also, right? So this Power BI is that without Power BI, can't we analyze the data? We can do that actually, right? Even like I get the data so that I can directly analyze it like record by record, right? To understand, or to understand that particular data, it will take longer time. Okay, so that's where every company, okay, so they will have any data. It is not like this jobs will be there on 1 or 2 companies. Any company, if you take it, right? So this kind of reporting calculations is required everywhere. Okay, so that's the reason, like, we have to invest on, like, companies has to invest on business intelligence. These business intelligence mainly help us to, show our data in the form of insights. Insights means visuals. So with the help of visuals, right, we can easily understand our business, and also we can apply some filters and also do that, like, do our understanding, and based on that understanding we can easily take forward in our business. Okay, so that's the reason, if you look at any company, if you take small shop also, right, let's say I have taken some 1,000 rupees some products to my retail store also, right? End of the day I have to analyze, okay, out of 1,000 rupees how much profit I'm getting it. So where and all I'm spending amount, how much time I'm investing it to sell those products, right? Is it a worth to go with that particular products, or should I go with other one? Anything, right? So we will do the calculation internally, at least if it is a very small at shop level, we do it, right? If it is a company point of view, right? If you take any applications or anything, if how it is performing, applications, how they are performing, or if you take like how is the sales is happening, how many products are there in the warehouse, right? So if you take small companies also, right, let's say a manufacturing company is there. Okay, in the manufacturing company they have to do the supply chain to sell their products. So in order to make supply chain, they have to maintain their products in different warehouse locations, right? So how many locations having space, how many products are there, which products is having more demand. So how we want to plan that supply chain management, how we want to sell that particular products, how much profit we are getting it, right? Anything, of course, if you want to understand in a quick time, right? So this business intelligence will help. Otherwise, without this business intelligence tools also, like Power BI, these kind of tools also, we can analyze the business, but it will take longer time, right? If you are taking long time to analyze the business, if something going wrong, for example, in a bank, okay, today, because of some bug, there are a lot of failed transactions is happening, right? So it is a kind of, if you don't understand where the bug is happening or what is the reason it's happening or something, right, it will take a lot of issues, right? Or reputation, or some people will be feeling like this is not a good one, and they'll jump on to other bank also. All right, so for example, I'm telling you, so there are like cases like if you don't analyze the business, or if you don't understand what is happening, right? So without knowledge, blindly if you do the business, right, so always it will be problematic. So that is the reason, always any company, if you look at, they will be having the business intelligence tools. Okay, so if it is a small scale company or big scale, so that's the reason a lot of openings and demand will be there always to the business intelligence. It is not about only Power BI I'm talking about. There are a lot of BI tools are there. We'll see that like in upcoming slides. Okay, so if you look at this is the flow of the business intelligence project. Okay, so basically this will be mainly how is the flow. So how do we get through this particular one, right? So that's what you can see it in the slide. So basically, if you look at initial part of the data is any place. For example, if you are using Amazon, I want to purchase something Amazon, right? If you open your mobile and book it something, right? So that is the starting place, right? The birth of the data as a user interface. Each mobile application is a user interface, right? So using that user interface, so we are booking some products, and that data it is getting stored. For example, Amazon, so whatever the orders are there in particular area, right? So we want to consolidate. These many are there. Then they want to take action on them. Like tomorrow or day of whatever the planned dates they have committed, they have to, deliver it. Or if you go to ATM machine, right, you swipe your ATM card, whatever the data, the bank transaction you made, it has to store in the database. They have to maintain that data, right? So basically the source could be a lot of different environments will be there where we get that, large amounts of the data. It is like raw data, we get it like initial part of the data. Okay, so using that particular raw data, right, so we want to store it in a proper place, because we want to like we can directly connect with the raw data also, but it will not be correct. Like for example, if we have like within Bangalore, right, so there are 40 stores are there, 40 stores of a business, right? So each store will upload one file in different place, but I want to look at the numbers, how much sales happened within Bangalore, I mean complete Bangalore, all the stores. What I have to do it, right? So I want to structure the data. I want to consolidate, combine all the 40 stores data into one particular, table, then connect with that one and create a report. It is like, so there will be like lot of places, lot of things can happen. We want to, end of the day, we want to structure it properly, right? Maybe, so while, raw data, right, like initial birth of the data, there are a lot of columns are there in the data, but what we need it is very less columns for our analysis purpose, right? So we take only required data and store it in a warehouse also. So basically what is a data warehouse means? Data warehouse is a place where we store the data, right? So for that, there are like a lot of data models are there. Which model is efficient to store the data, and which model, how it will help us, right? So why we want to store the data? So which method is effective for retrieval also, right? So what is the appropriate way we can store the data? So those things and all we will discuss in next upcoming data warehousing lessons. As I said, right, in this training, so we are going to look at data warehouse initially to understand what are the different data models we have, everything, right? So similarly, like this is a data warehouse. What we do it like in between, so we'll have another medium in which it is a ETL, extract, transform, and loading. Okay, so there will be ETL work will be there, in which so we will be creating a package using the tool. For example, all the 50 stores, right, they will upload the data in one shared folder or Google Drive or something. So I want to write a job every day, go to that particular folder, pick all the files and load it in corresponding tables. So that I want to do it. So every day I cannot do it. Like let's say if my business is happening entire the globe, right, manually we cannot do it. So that's where like we will have a automated ETL mechanism, right? So using that we can create a packages, jobs, and run them so that it pick the data and store it in data warehouse. So data warehouse means like we are properly storing it. For example, if you take medical shop, right, so I will go for medicine. Okay, so if I go to the medical store and I ask for a medicine, right, so they have segregated or they have kept or they have arranged the medicines properly in racks, right, so that if I ask them within few minutes or few fraction of seconds, they can help me to get that particular medicine to me, right? So because they have arranged that particular medicines in proper structure and shape, right? So that they are doing it, and they are also storing that in a proper manner, right? So in the same fashion in data also, right? So we get a lot of data from the source. Any of the business, if you take any business, we'll also see like what kind of businesses are there. Any business will have data. Okay, so that data, if you store it in a proper manner, right, for retrieval also could be faster. For example, in the medical shop only, so whatever the medicine they get, they'll throw randomly in the room completely. Simply they have thrown. somebody, some customer has came, so I need medicine. So will they give on time immediately? Means no, they cannot give it. They have to search it on the entire room, like randomly thrown medicines are there. They have to search it. But if they store it in a proper medium, easily they can get it, right? So the warehousing part is very, very important in data projects. So because the how we store the data, how we structure the data is very, very important. So that is something we should learn it, like then so we can continue the next part is like analyzing part. So if you have the data stored properly, then we can connect with the BI tool and analyze the data. Yeah. So that's where like we get that data and we have to structure it and store it in a proper manner. So we can also, if you look at, if you store the data properly, right? If you go to the medical shop also, they'll check, let's say if you ask some medicine, right? So that particular medicine is available or not. So they will also sometimes they'll check in the database in the laptop or system, right? They will check that medicine is available in their store or not. Right? So what I'm saying is, right? So they will do, checking whether that medicine is there or not. Then they will, give us. Correct. So in order to check that particular one, they are storing that, data. They're maintaining the data. For example, if they are already like whatever the medicines are there, if they are storing like whatever it has been there, they are storing and they are also updating it. When the billing is happening, that particular medicine, it has been taken out from the which one system, right? So this is already been sold out. So any kind of business, if you took movie tickets also, so how can it will show, right? Like if I book a ticket, right, that seat will be occupied. How can that system will be working is they'll be maintaining the data in the warehouse system. Yeah. So in the warehouse system, they'll maintain the data. Okay. How many are booked? How many are vacant? Based on that, application will be showing the numbers to in the web application. So likewise, any business, of course, we want to have the data warehousing. From that, so what is that mainly? So we are storing the data. What is the use of storing the data is for data analysis purpose only. We want to understand our business. That is the reason. So we are storing the data, right? So whatever the data is there on that, let's say I'm doing some analysis, right? So I'll be doing analysis for 2 tables. Then I will take the 2 tables and create the report, right? So when we say report here, so report will be in the form of visualizations. When I say visualizations, it will be like bar chart, pie chart, donut chart, like a lot of visuals are there, right? So these graphical analysis or graphical representation help business users to understand the data properly. See, we can also we can show the data however we want it in a table structure also, but this graphical representation will help them insights how they are going also. Yeah. So for example, if you take like something like I'll show you like how this will help us. Like one example I will just show you, right? Yeah. So if you look at, I just go on to Google. So COVID cases trend, right? So COVID cases trend. If you look at so how it is happening, see. So we are completely seeing by looking at this data, right? I can easily understand in April, right? We had a lot of hike in cases. Through visual representation, it will be like easy and it will be like easily understandable. Again, like it has like too much of high on this particular period. Now it is already going down, right? So likewise, the graphical representation always help actually. Okay, so So if you look at like always, this graphical representation will help in analyzing the data. So whatever the reports we are generating, right? So based on that reports, higher management, right? So whoever the higher management is there, or whoever the relevant people is there, they will conduct a meetings and they'll discuss among themselves. Okay, our things is happening like this. We want to plan like this and do that. So based on that analysis, they want to take the decisions, to improve how they can improve their business. It could be any data. Like for example, if you take COVID cases, if the cases is more, right? So whatever the plan will be, to reduce that, they have to announce some lockdown, or whether it is required or not. So that kind of analysis they are doing it, like how they are doing it based on the numbers only, actual numbers. Which places is affecting more? So which one we want to do it, like any kind of analysis, right? It could be. So apart from that, using the existing information, we can also do forecasting and predicting also. Like for example, something is happening now. So what could I expect in next year? Right? So that also we can predict it using the existing data. So this is the kind of flow which we can see it like in the business intelligence project. If you take any project, right? So we will be working, if we are working as a Power BI developer, right? So we'll be working on this side here, connecting with the data and create the reports and publish them and give the access. That is simple work which we will be doing it. So who will be doing this one? There will be ETL developer will be there in a project. What they'll do is they'll create the packages, then they'll get the data and they store it and structure it properly in a warehouse system, right? So this is the kind of mechanism or flow which will be happening in the BI projects. Okay, so if you look at, this is the standard, again, like one more slide I have provided. We get the data from different sources, right? In a company, there will be like different data. If you take employee management, how many employees are there, who has resigned, right? So who is working on which skill, who is tagging to which project, how many are on bench. If I want to know, like that is a HR information, right? Manufacturing company, we have it, like how many products are there with us, which location, which warehouse we have kept how many products, how much sales is happening, which area demanding is happening. So likewise, if you take like any of the business, right, like transportation management, supply chain management, vendors, we will be having it when we are doing the business. So all the vendor information, anything, like there will be like different data. If we are making a business, like we'll be maintaining some applications on our own, right? So that kind of data sources we'll get it, like lot of sources in which we will be storing the data, right? From that, so we will be using ETL mechanism, as I said, right? If you could see, extract, transform, and load, right? So that ETL mechanism will be using it in order to have a automated, jobs created, which will run automatically on daily basis to pick up or to extract the data and load it into one place. So usually, right, what we will be doing is, so if you look at extract, transform, and load. So mainly some of the projects, mainly what we do it, we will do extract and loading first. Extract and loading first, which means what I'll do is whatever the data is there are different stores or different structure, different format data is there. All the data we get it through ETL and we will store it in one place, operational data store, or as a staging area, we call it, with staging area or some place, let's say. So like we got like, it is a place of where, so we are collecting all the information and we are keeping it. Then from here to here, we will again use ETL. Every step we need ETL here, every step. So in this case, transformations also we will be performing it. For example, from here to here, I want to move the data. So I will also create a packages, but on all the data, I will also perform the transformations also. Data structuring, formatting, cleaning, everything. For example, in one particular place, right? So they'll store the data in particular format, right? So I want to get that data aligned and structured to store the data in proper format. Yeah. So like that is what we do it like in this particular warehouse. So warehouse is a place where we can store it. Like you can also see MDM also, right? It is like kind of archival. For example, I will be analyzing the data always like, for 3 years data only, I will be analyzing it. So I have 15 years data in my project. All the 15 years data, what I'll do is I'll archive it. Archive means I will not be keeping in regular database. We'll maintain a separate archive database, backup database, where we will move all the data there. So regular basis. So once in a while, we'll be moving the archival data. Sometimes, right, company might need this data for data analysis, historical analysis. They want to do it for a long time. They might be doing that actually, right? So therefore, for some reason, they'll keep that, or if they don't want, they can discard or delete that data also. Yeah. Also, as I said, right, like in a company, there will be like different management will be there. Like for example, yeah. So if you are doing, anything, right? So business. So let's say manufacturing company is there. They will manufacture the product, right? So on that manufacturing information, they might keep it in one mart. They'll be, analyzing. Some people will be working on that side only, manufacturing side. Some people will be working on that supply chain management. After the product is ready, we want to sell that. We want to ship that into different warehouse, and from there we want to sell them, right? So after the selling, right, I want to analyze that selling, how much sales happened. Likewise, there will be different data marts will be maintained according to their need of the business. So why do we need data marts, right? If you have complete data, right, always, depending on one particular database, right, from like all the reports or all the interaction is happening to this one, obviously performance wise also there will be slight impact also, right? Performance impact, or also there are other reasons also. We will be maintaining the data marts. We'll discuss in upcoming lessons. We'll maintain this data mart separately so that the dependency and the querying part, or these things will be very less, right? And you could see BI analytics. Here is the one where we will be doing it. What we will be doing it. Whatever the data is having company, right? We'll connect with BI tools like Power BI or Tab. If you look at, right, so we are the one like at the end, BI, business intelligence, right? So what we do is like with the help of the data, what we have loaded in the data warehouse system, right? So we connect with the data and create the reports, right? So we don't create on our own whatever the reports. There will be like, that is a reason we have a project is there, right? Like if you get a job, we'll be assigned to a project in which some business people will be there, and also there will be, a structured team will be there. What they do is they give the requirements. What is their business problem, or so what is that requirement of them? According to the requirement, they will be giving some template or requirement document to us, right? So what we have to do is, so we have to understand the requirement using the knowledge. What knowledge? The Power BI knowledge. In order to work on this job, you don't have to be a technical, coming from technical background. If you are a technical background or non-technical background, if you know this particular tool, how to use it and how to work on it, that is what they need, right? If you have complete knowledge on this particular BI tool, right, you can easily understand their requirements, analyze the data, and connect with the data and create the reports and give it to them. So that is the work you do it. So in order to do that particular work, we have to study that particular tool properly, each and every option. How does it work, right? If you don't have this knowledge, then it will be difficult. It could be a somebody coming from a technical background or non-technical, it doesn't matter. Main expectation is you should know this particular Power BI tool, then it is like easy that we can easily work on that particular requirements and do the report development. Okay, so if you look at like the further slide also, what I'm telling, what kind of data we get it, or what kind of things are there, right? As I said, right, any company will have this kind of business intelligence openings will be there. Okay, so Power BI, it is an on-demanding tool in the market as of now, because it is a new tool and which is having a lot of features with less price also, and that is from a reputed organization called Microsoft, right? So if you look at this particular slide, we can get the projects on any of these domains also. Like for example, if you take financial, I have not listed all the banks, but I'm telling you financial sector, manufacturing, healthcare, e-commerce, energy, electrical and electronics, telecommunication, aerospace, or food and beverage, any kind of client or any kind of things, right? So we will be having a requirement and we will be working on. Okay, so it is not like, so we do like, so what I'm saying is, it is not like, let's say I got a project to work on HP, right? So I'll be working on that particular project. So what is the requirement of them? They'll give it. I understand the requirements and do it. So most of the projects at like our Indian market, right? Like in this particular space, we get it like on financials, manufacturing, e-commerce, food and beverages. These are the main ones, and healthcare also bit more also when you compare with other ones, right? So it is not like we don't get like data if we want to. So anything like if Air India is there, if they want to analyze how many flights, how much amount they got it, or how many places they're operating, anything, if they want to analyze it, like anything, right? So they can also create a project. I mean, like project means they can store their data, all their data, analyze it, and they can, anything they can analyze, or they want to improve their business, they can do that, right? So for example, any of the companies, like it will be like domains which will be having, right? So we will be getting the project, right? Like not all the projects we get it, but yeah, it is like, let's say if you take manufacturing, Unilever, right? They manufacture it. So which means they don't have financial information, means it will be there. So the products will be sold out, right? They'll be selling the products. On that, sales data will be there. So we might work on the sales data. Volume means how much, how many products are there, on which one, which type, which brand, which color. So those kind of data will be there. Supply chain, if they want to, sell their products, right? They want to supply it to the different places. That also they should take care about, right? If any issues are their customer care for their products. Likewise, any data, like in a company, right? There will be like different data will be there. So all those data, in order to analyze that particular data, so we need this particular reporting platform. Okay, so what I want to conclude it here, so we can get the data. It could be, say, if you know the Power BI tool, right? It doesn't matter it is a financial project or manufacturing project or any kind of project, right? So we just have to understand the requirement of them and create the reports through visualizations, right? So that's where like we should know that knowledge, then it doesn't matter. If you look at like this is one example, end-to-end project workflow, how it is there. There are different sources we get the data. It doesn't matter. So what is that we do it? We'll have a ETL mechanism, right? The tool name is Talent here in this case. Like for example, if you take one project, Talent is the ETL tool. So they're extracting the data from different sources and loading that into database, data warehouse. This is actually we are saying. So the data warehouse is a technical term, but actual storage happens in the tools. Again, storage tools are there, like lot of tools are there. It is not like one tool we have it in the market. Even ETL also not like Talent only it is there, right? Like we have mobiles in the market, right? There is no one mobile concept. There are different companies, different brands, like that we'll have it, right? So like that we have different things are there in that project. Based on the requirement and usage, they can choose which one they want it. Okay, I'll also tell you here in this case, if you look at for BI, we are not using Power BI. We are using Tableau, right? So if you look at this project, so for BI, we are using Power BI, right? So we might get the data from different sources, and through, ETL tool, we can, extract that, load it, and again, we will perform the transformations, structure it, and store it in a proper medium called storage layer. From the storage, we will be connecting with BI and create the reports. Yeah. So our part will be mostly, if you're a BI developer, our part is from storage to the visualization. Why? Because we just connect with the tables and create the reports from it. Okay, so this is the kind of thing which will be there. But in order to tell you, as I said, right, there are a lot of mobiles are there. Why you are taking this mobile? Why you are taking iPhone? Why you are taking Samsung? Why you are taking Redmi? All of us can take one mobile only, right? Right? It depends on their, company's requirement, cost. I mean, like it depends on our choice, right? What features are there? How it will help them, right? So how much cost is there? So based on all these considerations, we'll choose, okay, I want Samsung mobile, or I want, Realme, Redmi, or whatever, like OnePlus, any mobile, we can choose it. That is like our choice and our budget. But out of all these things, the world, entire the globe, right? On the BI tools, Power BI is the one which is like most used tool in the market, entire the globe. You can see that how much demand is there. So most of them, they are preferring to use, and it is a new tool also to the market. New means like it is like 3-4 years back only people started, 4 years onwards people started using more. Earlier and all it is there, but it is not like 100%. It is having all the features and all. They have improved a lot, and people started using from last 4 years onwards. So some companies, they are migrating now only. They're still using like Tableau or any other tool. They're just migrating into Power BI. Okay, so that is the case with the current trend or current situation of Power BI. And I'll tell you one thing. So if you look at cost wise, it is very less. Features wise, it will give more features. Brand wise, it is a reputed Microsoft organization, right? And if you look at, so where are they standing with, right? If you look at this, I think it might be blur for you. So 2015, if you see, so which one is number one BI tool in the market is Tableau. You could see Tableau was is there in the leaders board, and that is the number one position, right? Out of all the BI tools. But Microsoft is there, but 5 years back, like 2012, 2022, right now we are 6-7 years back, it was like, maybe like third position it is there, this Power BI. But drastically, and if now you could look at 2021, right? So as on February 2021, so Microsoft states number one position in the market, because so it is having a lot of features and benefits, and we can create the insights. And even somebody, right, like as a developer also, see, I have worked on Tableau and also Power BI. Based on my experience also, Tableau for developers, so it will take, longer time to develop a report. For example, a report is there. I want to develop a report. I'm taking 5 days in Tableau. I can complete the same report in Power BI in 2 days only, right? So the time also it will be less actually, right? And a lot of features are there, but nowadays I can say that both are having same features. Tableau is also competing and giving, same kind of features whatever Power BI is giving, or this has some feature they are also in implementing, but the usage point of view, more of them are using Power BI. Okay, but Tableau also, it has its own benefits actually. Even I was giving the training previously on Tableau itself. Basically, Tableau can support huge data within the tool itself, right? So within the single Tableau tool itself, independent tool itself, it can support for huge data and we can make the reports, but not like Power BI. Power BI, it has a lot of benefits. All these things are there. Supporting for huge data, there are like some limitations we have it. So that's where I told you, right? If you look at the first slide, so I'm going to cover the data modeling tool also. What we could do is we can load complete data into data modeling tool, create a data model and deploy it, right? And we can connect with that to data model data into Power BI. That time it can support for huge data, right? So I hope all of you understanding what I'm saying is Power BI, there are certain limitations for huge data connections, but alternatively, so we have options from Microsoft saying what, so we can do the data modeling in data modeling tool and connect with this one. There is no limitations on the data side. Okay, so that is what end of the day, so comparing with, so it is having good market and it is very easy to learn also. Somebody who's a technical or non-technical, they can easily, with the help of this kind of trainings, right, you can easily, understand end to end and learn it, easily work on that particular tool also. Yeah. So then if you look at, so this is again, I'm saying, repeating, there are a lot of BI tools are there in the market, out of which Power BI and Tableau states #1 and #2 position in the market. There are other tools also, they are also still being used. Like we have mobiles also, right? There are some mobiles people will still buy, like it is, even though it is a new brand or new company also, but some of them they'll buy only these phones only, like that, right? So it depends on the company to company and their understanding and their features which is required. They can choose like out of, see, there are a lot of databases are there. These are the like some of the databases: MS SQL Server, Oracle, or Snowflake, MS Azure Cloud, Teradata, SAP HANA, like that. ETL tools also, a lot of ETL tools are there. Okay, it depends on the project to project which one they can choose it. Like here they are using Power BI, ETL they are using Informatica, here Talent they are using, and here they are using BI, Tableau, right? So like that they can use, like it depends on the usage and they can do that. Okay, and yeah, I just wanted to tell you this particular one, like we are learning Power BI. How is that scope for us, like in career perspective, right? So today I learn Power BI. After that, will it go off or will it stay? How is the future for it? See, always, right, if you invest time or if you put some time on Microsoft related skills, right, it always sustain long time and we will have a standard growth there. That is for sure. For example, so if you're learning Power BI today, if you want to upskill some more thing also, you can also learn Azure Data Factory also, which is also good in the market, right? If you want to quickly get a job, right, so one thing which we can do is Power BI, we can learn it and get it, right? So in order to learn Azure Data Factory initially, now itself, without having any knowledge of data, it will be a bit difficult, right? So likewise, there is a lot of scope for learning new things also in future within Microsoft, grow further on your career perspective. So always Microsoft will have standard things will be there. Not like today you learn it and tomorrow it will go down, nothing like that. So today opening might be less, but again it will come. But always openings will be there. These kind of Microsoft related products or tools. Okay. So out of which Power BI has huge openings in the market. So we should be able to sustain in Power BI long time. So if I say, like it is not like one particular one it is there. These particular Microsoft business, right? They are having complete end to end. They are able to support it. So there are like some BI tools are there. They can only do BI only. They don't have storage and all. So if you look at, so we have integration tools are there from Microsoft. Data modeling tools are there from Microsoft. So we also have reporting tools are there from Microsoft. Storage tools are there, storage, right? If you look at this storage, SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, it is a storage from Microsoft only, right? End to end, it can support, right? So Microsoft Excel is there, right? So a lot of things are there from Microsoft, and it is a reputed one, which I think most of us already know that, right? So anything you are putting on Microsoft things, always it will help you in the career perspective. Okay, so there are like a lot of learning is there. For example, initially I want to get a job in Power BI. I will learn in 2 months or 1 month of time and get a job. Later on, if you want to improve further, you can again invest your time in Microsoft related products only. Yeah, so that will definitely help you on that, career perspective. So that is the one, like yeah, if I have to tell you like now what I will do it like in the training, right? So there is like something called, we are developer. Developer means like Power BI developer. So where we will be creating the reports. Okay, so there is a tool is there in which like Power BI desktop, we call it Power BI desktop. So Power BI desktop is the developer tool. We have it to connect with the data and create the report. Okay, so if you look at, I'm just opening that particular tool also, BI tool, Power BI tool. So there are like products are there. Power BI desktop is the one where we have to learn completely in the training. Basically, so if you could look at Power BI desktop is the one we want to learn completely in our training. Okay, so this is the interface of Power BI tool. So this tool only I'm going to explain you like end to end, each and every option, how to use, when to use. Whether is you are a technical person or non-technical person, if you learn it properly, you can do that. It doesn't matter like, okay, this will work only for technical people, nothing like that. This tool can be learned by anyone, and we can easily do it. This is the interface of this particular tool. So if I have to take you through this particular tool, if you could see, this is the visuals are there, lot of visuals. Apart from these visuals, we can also import other visuals also, get more visuals also. Okay, so from the marketplace, we can download and use those visuals also to make the report. So this is the page we have it, like this is the place. Once we get the data, right, so we can create the visualizations, right? So here, if you look at, this is a report tab and data window and data modeling window. Okay, so let me just get you like start with the data connection. Simply, I'll just connect with some data. I already have a database where I have already connected previously. I'm using the same connection, but I'll show you like when we have regular classes, right, and Power BI. So that point of time, I'll show you clearly. Now I'll just simply connect with some tables. Let's say this table I connected, or maybe yeah. So I'll connect with 1 or 2 tables. See, I just connect with this table and load the data. Yeah, so these are all what is this everything imported, everything we will learn it like in our training, like completely about this particular tool, so that in interview somebody is asking a question also, we can easily answer them. Yeah, so I'm just loading the data just to tell you like what is this tool about. If you could see, I loaded and I have loaded those 2 tables and they are here. See, using this particular data, using this visualization, we can create the report. And here, so we can see the data. How is the data looks like, we can see that. And here, so we can make the relationship between the tables. So why we want to make a relationship? What is that we have to do it like, right? So all these things I'll explain you in data warehousing concepts and Power BI classes also. Okay. So this is like data modeling side. And if you look at here, so we will be creating the visualizations. For example, if you take like this region, and also like, for example, anything like any of the other things like profit, right? See, I can take a bar graph and show the data also. How is the sales between like in these things? Similarly, I can also take another chart where I can show, this another graph also. See, so likewise, we will be creating the visualizations through these visuals, right? It will be easy to understand the data, right? So that is the reason where companies are using business intelligence tools. These tools will help them to quickly understand their business and take appropriate decisions on time. Yeah. So if you look at, like, I'm just taking the line chart. If I want to see like how is my business across the regions, we can make these lines. Like that, we can drag and drop and create the visuals. It is not like I can say simply drag and drop. Power BI is a drag and drop, but we have to learn completely about this tool end to end, each and every features. Then we will be able to do it. So once we do it, like once we do the development, right? So let me just save this report, like maybe on desktop. Yeah. So we can save this, right? So with one name, and publish this report also online. So right, so mainly the development part will be taken care in the Power BI desktop. If you look at Power BI desktop is a developer tool to create dashboards, reports, and stories. It comes as a standalone application. We can easily install in our laptops or machines. So Power BI desktop is a free also. Like for our learning also, we can create a free account. I'll guide you everything, how to install everything in upcoming lessons. And once we develop it, right, so we can, publish that particular report. Okay, so we can publish it into server and we can provide the access. If you look at, so I have developed this report, I want to publish it. I can choose that, project or folder to publish it. For example, this folder, I'm just taking it and publishing it. So it is like, users are there, business users, they will access these reports through web online. Okay, so like you could see, it's like I published it and we can directly we can see that report online. Yeah, so if you could see, so we can see this report online through web. You could see it is a web connection which we have it. So likewise, so as a developer, we should know how to use this tool to develop a report. After developing it, so we want to check whether numbers are matching. We will be using SQL also to verify that numbers are matching. Then if it is matching, then publish it into server, provide that access to the people. So this is the whole idea or whole projects which will be running like in business intelligence. Okay, so out of which the products are, desktop is the one we will be developing the reports, and premium and pro is there. Premium and pro is there. I will explain you in upcoming lessons clearly, like what is premium, what is a pro, different kind of licenses we have it. So what are the benefits of using pro and premium, right? And these are the features which we can do it with Power BI. You can just go through that, right? As I told, right, there are different licenses are there. Free is there, which we can learn it easily. Our pro license is the one, and premium is these are like cost basis licenses which will be used in the projects, pro and premium. Obviously, right, if you take a car also, right, if you take lower version of same car only, lower version if you take it will have less features. If you go with the top end, will have all the features, right? So premium is nothing but which will have complete benefits, a lot of features will be there, more money we have to pay. This one bit less money, but it will be like we can if we are able to manage, we can manage with this also. So free is now we cannot use it like for office purpose. For learning, we can use free. I'll also guide you how to create a pro license and use it, like all those things I'll guide you with. Okay, so we will go in detail about this Power BI. What is that Power BI? What is the benefits and what things are there? Everything we will go in detail. This is the tool, as I said, right? Interface. We have seen it like Power BI interface. Yeah. So how I'm going to take you this training, right? Upcoming lessons, right? So from tomorrow onwards, what I will be doing is, right? So I'll be starting with the data warehouse. Roadmap of this training is, so we want to end of the day, we want to learn that Power BI tool properly end to end. If you learn properly that end to end this tool, so you once we get a job, we can easily work on it. So everyone in this one, right? So company also, right? If you're applying for a job for any company, what is their expectation is, if you're working, they are fine. If you're not working only, then only the problem is there. So why you don't work? If you don't have knowledge, simple thing. If you want to get the knowledge properly, you have to give attention to this training every day, properly learn it, right? So what I'll do is I will not simply give some knowledge here, right? So whatever the knowledge is 100% is required for this, to do this job, I give that completely. So your efforts is required here, and for sure you can get this job if you do it properly and follow my instructions. So how I'm going to take you this training is, this is the one. Data warehousing, I'll start with the, right, as I said, so the basics of the data, what is data, what kind of models are there, how we want to manage the data, where we want to store the data in data warehouse, those things I'll explain, right? So that whatever I explain, so we will go with some real-time storage. We'll take SQL server and how we can create a data, how we can store the data. So those things I'll take you through in the SQL server. Okay, after this SQL server is done, then I'll go with Power BI desktop. Here mainly, as I shown, right, like in this Power BI desktop, right, I'll cover each and every option, like every option. When I click on, see, other options will come, and even I can go with inside transform data, how can we can structure the data. Okay, so it is like in Power BI we have a mini ETL tool is there, where we can structure it here only and we can work on a data modeling part, and also a lot of complete things, so which we'll be studying within our training. Like desktop, I'll cover it, and visuals, right? We are a developer, so there must be something, right? So bar chart is there. When we can use bar chart, when we can use this chart or other charts, we should know as a developer, right? So those also I'll be covering. Power BI usage of visuals. So main part or backbone of Power BI training is DAX functions. I can surely say in any other training institute, no one will cover all these functions. Main work in Power BI job is DAX functions. I'll explain you all these functions with real-time use cases and scenarios, and how where I can have used this functions in my projects where I have worked with, so that once you get a job, you can use similarly as per the requirement, use those functions. I'll take you each and every function with example. From that you can easily create that measures and do that. Simply, if I have to tell you why do we want to use this DAX functions, right? For example, in the data, right, in this particular data, if you look at, I have sales is there, or profit is there. I want to see this particular report for current year sales only. I have profit is there, but the profit data is there for 5 years. But business, what is that they are asking? I want 1 year data only. For that 1 year, I want to create that measure, right? So there will be some functions are there, like there are some functions are there in which we can use them to create 1 year. Or I want to apply some filter also, filter logic. So as per the business requirement, we will be, using like, will be, what I'm saying is, so we will be using these functions and create that, report development. And then I'll cover it Power BI server. What and all is there in Power BI server, right? In Power BI point of view, we have developer jobs is there, administrator jobs are there. So I'm giving the knowledge both developer and administrator, but most of the jobs will have it on, developer only, Power BI developer, where somebody wanted to come join their project, understand their requirements, analyze the data, and create the reports for them. That is the main jobs are there. Admin jobs will be mainly simply managing that, existing reports and checking the refresh is happening or not, those kind of things. Okay. Also, as I said, right, some companies, they're looking, a Power BI knowledge plus MSBI knowledge, like data modeling tool also. If they have, let's say, if any company, they have huge data is there, they want to create a report, and Power BI has certain limitations. What they can do is they can use this data modeling tool, create the data model, and then use the data model data using Power BI to create the reports. That kind of things also they can do it. Okay, so that is also one more thing I could say, which I will be covering with. So then at the last, so in between, I will also take project class also, real-time project class also. How does it work? Like what do we do it? So if you're a beginner, how can you get that job and how do we do that? End to end, I'll explain. At the end, I'll be covering with SQL Server advanced topics also. Whatever the basics we have studied in the beginning, right? If you have prepared by that time properly, we can also go through advanced concepts also. If somebody want to try for SQL Server jobs also, database engineer jobs also, you can do that. I will also help you with the resume class and sample resumes also. Apart from this particular roadmap, I will be asking, mock interview questions on daily basis. Whatever the interview questions are there, I'll be asking in regular basis or updating those interview questions to you guys in the classes. Okay. And I will be sharing, reports, around 40 reports. I'll share it for practice purpose so that you can get the hands-on experience about this particular tool, how it can be used and how can be done. So I will also share the recordings. Okay. So actually this has to be changed after the training completed, like I'll share for 5 months. So total you get like 7 months of these recordings will be there. You can easily learn this training within a month also, within a month or 2 months, which we can easily learn. It is a simple tool, but I will also provide that access for you, like till, total it will be like from today, it will be 7 months, you will have these classes. Okay, so within 2 months you can learn it, but yeah, so that is the period of time which I will be providing. I will also give end-to-end materials I will provide. There will be like you can use that like lifetime of that materials and learn that. So it will be like completely whatever I'm using in the training. So that material only I'll be providing for you. Okay, so also if required, I'll be providing 100% job placement for boys and girls. Anyone is required, so I do that, but that is not part of this particular training. That will be like I'll be putting extra efforts to help you on the job placement. So the training cost will be 10,000. There is no extra or something. Only 10,000. I'll take it for all these skills which I'll be giving for 2 months. Right? Total training will be 2 months. It will be there. Okay, so that is the thing, and you can also check out like this one like Nuinfotech on Google also, so which we have it. And there are like if somebody wanted to learn Tableau videos, like my Tableau videos also is there in the YouTube channel. You can go through this particular channel and go there in the playlist. It will be available, right? So once you go through the channel playlist, you have these videos available. Previously, I was giving the training on Tableau and providing the placements there also. But now mainly we have a lot of openings in Power BI only. Tableau also we have it, but Power BI a lot of openings are there. So I'm concentrating on that. You can go through this channel there. You can find that particular relevant things. Okay. So that is all about the training and these things. Any questions? See, placements, anything if you want to ask, you can ask me personally. Apart from that, so 100% I can help you on the placement side until you get the job. I'll give support and guide you how to get the jobs and those things. I'll help you out to get the job for you. So that is optional, but most of my students, right, they'll completely focus on my training, understand that completely get that knowledge from my training, and they can get the job on their own only. They don't depend on me on the job placements. But so because I'm telling you assurity, the training will be like completely I'll give it so that it will help you easily to get the job also. It's not like one topic I cover and one more I miss it. End to end I cover it so that it will help you once you get a job also to do that work on your own. Okay, there is no support required even for the job if you learn properly. It's like how much you focus it. So based on that, you can easily get that. Okay. So any questions anyone has?
Sai Krishna here.
Yeah, you can just go with the question. What if you wanted to say your name, you can simply ask your question directly.
Okay, fine. So you said that MSBI server and can load more data and which Power BI cannot do. So most of the companies will be using MSBI and both Power BI tools, or only MSBI.
90% of the companies Power BI only itself it will support. If in rare cases, if huge data is there, so that cases only they can go with. 90% of the Power BI projects will have inbuilt directly. We have 2 accounts are there. So Power BI Pro and Premium is there. Premium will support for huge data also. There is no problem. There are different connectivity modes are there. So there are a lot of things are there which we will learn it. But MSBI is optional for some companies. They will use it. Out of 100 projects, 10 projects might use SSAS. Remaining will be generally they'll use the tab Power BI itself and do that. Okay.
Okay.
I know in this.
Yeah, please ask your questions, all of you, one by one.
Yeah, okay. You said we need to depend on SQL Server. I'm from the BPO background. I don't know anything about the SQL Server.
Basically, like I'm giving the training, considering, okay, it could be any person who is a technical person or non-technical person. Anyone can easily learn. Okay, so I'll cover SQL also from the basics, where if any like 6th class student or 7th class student also, they can easily understand. It is not like technical or non-technical. So that kind of people also, they can easily understand this particular one and they can go through. Okay,
got it. Yeah.
So that is the level of training I'm going to give it. Which main thing is you have to put your efforts. If you're keeping your efforts properly and focusing on this, it doesn't matter whether it is a BPO or whatever it is. You can easily get into this. See, companies, right? Like mainly, what is the expectation is for companies? What is the expectation is, right? They want you to work on their given work. Whatever the work is they have given, you have to work on it. In order to work, you have to learn this particular tool properly. Yeah, so that's it. Any other questions, please? Anyone else has any other questions? Feel free to ask me any questions if anyone has. See, this training will be for 2 months, okay? So every day, the regular classes will start from tomorrow. So 7:30 to 9 a.m. Okay, so which will start this particular one. So whoever is interested, they can update me. They can ping me personally and in WhatsApp or something and update me. Okay, so that is one thing I could wanted to convey that. Yeah.
Okay.
If no questions are there, then we can wind up this meeting. Actually, we can close it off. If any questions is there, feel free to ask me.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, then thank you, everyone.
Thanks. All right, bye.
Thank you, sir.